weather report, no sun for the next 3 weeks. That's all for today.
What? We're on air? Malcolm X died? Commercial break, commercial break. This message is sponsored by
Winston cigarettes. Tastes good like a cigarette should.
This just in. We have just received wind of the death of Malcolm X, who was assassinated at the Audubon Ballroom in New York City. His death occurred at a speaking arrangement and comes as no surprise, as recent attempts at an assassination have already occurred, such as the bomb in his home.
Because of Malcolm X's sudden death, New York City News will do a short segment on his life and achievements over the past 39 years.
Malcolm was born on May 19, 1925, as Malcolm Little to a homemaker mother, Louise Norton Little, and a Baptist minister father, Earl Little. He was one among 8 children.
Earl Little was an active supporter of the black separatist Marcus Garvey. Because of his outspoken behavior and work for civil rights, the Littles were often targeted, having been moved multiple times to escape the wrath of many racist white groups.
In 1929, Little's home in Lansing, Michigan was burned down. Later, Earl Little was found dead. Police said both were accidents, but others disagreed, saying it was the work of white racist groups, such as the Ku Klux Klan and Black Legion.
Soon after, Malcolm's mother had a mental breakdown and was sent to a mental institution for 26 years. Malcolm and his 8 siblings were separated and sent to different foster homes.
Malcolm was a good student with dreams of becoming a lawyer. However, these dreams were crushed when a harsh teacher told him that it was, quote, no realistic goal for a nigger. After this, Malcolm stopped trying, and at age 13, he was charged with delinquency.
After dropping out of school, Malcolm moved to Boston, where he worked many jobs, including a busboy and shoe shiner. He also got in trouble and often visited the ghetto, selling drugs, gambling, and doing others. He moved to Harlem, New York, where this behavior continued.
He began leading drug and gambling rings in Harlem, and became known as the Troy Rat for his shocking red hair. Moving to Boston to escape the police, he was unsuccessful as he was caught and sentenced to 10 years in prison for burglary. He served 7 of these years.
During those 7 years, Malcolm decided to further his education. He studied many different topics. His brother, Reginald, came to visit him and told him about a group he had joined, the Black Muslims, led by Elijah Muhammad.
The Black Muslims were a group of people who hated whites. Believing all whites were evil, this group wanted to escape them rather than integrate with them. The Black Muslims strived for land of their own, where whites would not be allowed. This was called the Nation of Islam. The Black Muslims followed the religion of Islam as well. They did not smoke, drink, or eat pork, which was very different from Malcolm X's former behavior.
When Malcolm heard of this group, he was fascinated. He began studying the teachings of Muhammad. He also began studying the dictionary in order to increase his vocabulary and become a better public speaker.
After Malcolm was released from jail, he found Elijah Muhammad and joined the Black Muslims. His last name was changed from Little to X, which represented the name he had lost when his family had became slaves.
He did not remain a nobody within this group for long. For his powerful speaking skills, he soon rose up and became a minister and spokesperson for the Black Muslims. Before long, he was the face of the movement, often the one who was speaking, winning debates, or being quoted by the press.
He had different opinions from other people working toward helping blacks, such as Martin Luther King Jr. Instead of venturing for integration, Malcolm hoped for a separate nation. He convinced blacks to convert from Christianity, blamed blacks' failure on the example set by whites, and told blacks not to vote because it supported the government that was hurting them. Malcolm also disagreed with peaceful protests, thinking that blacks should strike back against white violence.
Using his power of speech, he spread awareness and more people joined the Black Muslim movement than ever. Some people within the NOI began the attempt to kick Malcolm out, thinking he would take over Muhammad's position or try to take too much control, possibly even turning the Black Muslims into a political organization.
However, Malcolm had always thought of Elijah as a prophet, that is, until he found out Muhammad had been breaking one of his own rules of NOI by having sex with multiple women, some of these affairs even resulting in babies. This was prohibited until marriage. Muhammad wanted Malcolm to cover this up, but Malcolm refused to do this, believing he would be enticing people towards an organization built on lies.
After Kennedy's assassination, Malcolm made a highly offensive comment saying, quote, "The chicken's coming home to roost." Because of this comment, Muhammad silenced Malcolm for 90 days. However, some believe that Muhammad had ulterior motives for this, such such as keeping his sex life a secret.
During his 90 days of silence, Malcolm left the NOI and created two new groups. These groups were called the Muslim Mosque Incorporated and the Organization of Afro-American Unity. He also began to travel to different places, including the Holy Land of Islam, Mecca, Saudi Arabia. Before leaving, Malcolm made an extremely powerful and well-known speech, called the Ballot or the Bullet speech. Here's a clip of this renowned speech.
We're here, April 3rd, 1964, to see Malcolm X Ballot or the Bullet speech.
Malcolm X, 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 Malcolm X.
They don't hang you because you're a Baptist, they hang you because you're black. They don't attack me because I'm a Muslim, they attack me because I'm black. They attack all of us for the same reason. All of us catch hell from the same enemy. We're all in the same bag, in the same boat. We suffer political oppression, economic exploitation, and social degradation. All of them from the same enemy. The government has failed us. You can't deny that. Anytime you live in the 20th century, 1964, and you're walking around here singing, "We shall overcome," the government has failed. This is part of what's wrong with you. You do too much singing. Today it's time to stop singing and start swinging.
Returned from Mecca, Malcolm was a changed man. He saw that whites and blacks could live together and had seen whites that he could, quote, call my brothers. He changed his name to Al-Hajji Malik al-Shabazz. Malcolm decided when he returned that he wanted whites and blacks to integrate. Malcolm took an international approach to this problem, wanting to present racist problems in America to the UN. He also worked with other white and black organizations trying to achieve civil rights.
Meanwhile, the NOI had been making attempts to assassinate Malcolm X for a while. There had already been a firebomb let off in his home, but today, February 24th, 1965, Malcolm X was making a speech at the Audubon Ballroom when three gunmen, Talmadge Hayer, Norman 3X Butler, and Thomas 15X Johnson, came up and shot him 15 times at close range. All three are members of the NOI. Malcolm X was pronounced dead upon arrival to New York's Columbia Presbyterian Hospital. Here's a clip of the assassination.
We're here at the Audubon Ballroom, and we're about to hear Malcolm X deliver a very important speech.
Hello everybody, we're here at the Audubon Ballroom. It is February 21st, 1965, and you all came to see the famous Malcolm X. So here he is.
Hello everyone, my name is Malcolm X. I'm here at the Audubon Center speaking to all of you. It's nice to see everyone.
Nigger, get your hand out of my pocket!
Malcolm was a 39-year-old. His wife, Betty Shabazz, and 4 children will remember him dearly, as will the twins that Shabazz is currently pregnant with. His funeral is scheduled for February 27th at the Fencliff Cemetery in Hartdale, New York. It is predicted that a large amount of people will come to say their last goodbyes to this famous African-American leader.
Malcolm X's achievements. Created the NOI newspaper, Muhammad Speaks. New York Times reported him as the second most wanted speaker in 1963. Led one of the largest civil rights events, Unity Rally in Harlem. Raised awareness in huge numbers for NOI. Started 2 organizations, Muslim Mosque Inc. and the Organization of African American Unity. Created an autobiography with Alex Haley. Was portrayed by Denzel Washington in the movie Malcolm X. Some consider him responsible for allowing African Americans to connect with their heritage, as well as spreading the religion of Islam among them.